Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with another gadget I think you're going to find pretty helpful. It's a 4-port HDMI switch from our friends over at Orei that allow you to easily share your monitor or widescreen display with up to 4 HDMI inputs at a full 4K ultra high definition resolution. Now, I've been using the product for a couple of weeks and I'm in love with it for so many different reasons that I'll get into in a minute. But in this clip, I wanted to start with an unboxing of the product, then I'll do some close-ups and show you what the connections and indicators mean. Then I'll come back and explain some of the standards that it'll support because it supports a wide array of audio and video standards. Then finally, I'll come back and actually install the unit here to show you just how easy it is to use when you get home. Before I get into the unboxing though, I want to talk about Orei a little bit because I've done reviews on a few of their products before. They're a giant company that makes all kinds of really sophisticated switching solutions like this. They make extenders, so if you have HDMI that you want to extend to an upstairs bedroom, they make both wired and wireless extenders. They make power supplies. They're a very sophisticated company that's really deep into this technology, and whenever I need a solution like that, if I'm extending HDMI or I want to switch in my office, I always look at their stuff first. So let's talk about the unboxing next. Now, obviously there's not a lot in the box. I've already pulled it out. You get the unit, which has a switch on the front. You can select between the 4 inputs, or you can use the included infrared remote control from across the room. Really pretty sophisticated remote. It's got 5 buttons on it, which allow you to pick the source directly, or you can use that third one to sort of shuffle through those different sources if you want. It includes a 5-volt power supply. Plug it into the wall, plug it into the back of the unit, you're good to go. It also includes an instruction manual that talks about all the standards that are supported, how you make the connections to the unit, and what you can do to troubleshoot it if you're having issues. Now again, I've used it for a couple of weeks. It's very easy to use. It's pretty straightforward. So you're probably wondering, well, gee, Rick, how can you get so jazzed about a switch? These things are a dime a dozen. The honest truth is there's a ton of product on the market that look like this that don't do half the things this thing does. The first thing I want to talk about is its support for video resolutions. A lot of the ones on the market will support up to a 1080p resolution, which seems great, but if you start moving into a 4K range or any kind of high definition video, you've got issues with the switch not supporting that, and the challenge there is that now you get a smaller picture of a lower resolution. So having the ability to support 4K, even if you're not using 4K today, is something that you're going to be future-proofed when you move to a 4K solution. Another key feature of this one, which is unique in the space, is the fact that it also has what's called audio extraction, which means whichever input you select, both the video and the audio come through the HDMI. This guy is smart enough to actually strip that audio out and supply it to this 3.5mm connection on the side, which you can then plug into your home media center. So imagine switching between a bunch of different devices in your media room where you've got maybe Roku, you've got a VCR, if you still use those kind of things, you've got a cable box or a game console. The audio is going to follow whichever selection you make, which is really cool because if you've got a big audio system in your house, you can now pump that audio through there. A lot of those switches don't do that. Another key feature for me with these switches is the weight, because a lot of them are really kind of chintzy plastic events where they're really lightweight. You've got it on your desk, you hit the button, the thing slides off your desk on you. This one's got rubber feet on the bottom, so it's going to keep it in place. Plenty of ventilation to keep the electronics cool. It's also got some weight to it, so when you put this thing down in your desk and you hit that button 6 or 7 times, it's not going to dance itself off the back of your desk. I like that a lot. The other thing I like a lot about it is that all the connections are on the back. A lot of these switches have wacky connections on the front. What am I doing plugging HDMI into the front of the switch? It's hanging off the front of my desk. So this way, all my input sources are on the back, and my output source, or I should say my output destination, is on the side. So I can connect this to my monitor, my widescreen, connect up the sources on the back, and I'm ready to go. So that's pretty much it for this section. Now I do want to give you a close-up and show you all the connections and how they're made. And like I said, I'll come back and talk about some specifications. Then I'll actually do an installation here and show you how it works. So stay tuned for that. The case of the switch comes in a smoky gray color, which really fits in fine with any decor. It's a very high-end look. Nice rounded corners make it pretty stylish. On the bottom of the unit, you've got 2 rubber feet on either side that'll keep the unit pretty much stable on any flat surface, whether that be your desktop or your media center. They also help to raise the unit off of that surface a little bit to allow these ventilation holes to keep the electronics inside at a very comfortable temperature. On the front of the unit, you've got 4 indicators here, and that's showing you exactly which of the input selections you've made, and you can cycle through those using this button. So every time you tap the button, it'll move to the next input source, or you can use the infrared remote, and there's an indicator here that reminds you you've got to keep this end of it facing you if you're using the remote, because the LED that receives this signal is behind that. The remote itself has got 5 buttons on it. You can go directly to any one of the 4 input sources by hitting the corresponding button, or you can cycle through them using that button right there. On the back of the unit, that's where your connections are made. 5-volt power supply that's included with the unit gets plugged in here, and that gives you all the power you need to run it. Then you've got 4 input sources, and these can be computer, game console, laptop, cable box, whatever you want to plug in there. As long as they're HDMI connections, you're good to go. On the right side of the unit, you've got the output connector. This goes to your display or your monitor. And then I'd mentioned earlier that it has an audio out function, and that's really something you don't find in a lot of these switches. What that'll do is it actually strips out the audio through an analog signal from whichever input source you've selected currently, and allows you to pump that into your home media center. So you can actually take the audio that would normally be coming through this output to your display or your monitor and strip that out and feed it into a 7151 audio system that actually gives you that theater experience. Nothing much on the other side. So stay tuned a second, and I'm going to tell you some of the specifications of what this unit can support. Some of the general features that the Orei UHD-401 HDMI 4-input switch provides include infrared remote control or manual control of the selection of your input, analog audio extraction, which allows you to easily connect up this unit to a home audio system to enjoy that theater experience, and then finally 4K ultra-high definition video through all 4 of the inputs. Those media sources can include products such as home PCs, game consoles, streaming devices like Apple TV or Roku, home surveillance systems, cable boxes, and any other source that delivers a video signal over HDMI. Video support includes HDMI 2.0B, HDCP, both 2.2 and 1.4 compliance, 4K up to 60 Hz, and a video stream support for 18 gigabytes at 600 megahertz. The audio support includes DTS Digital, Dolby Digital True HD, DTS-HD Master Audio, LPCM, and the unit also supports pass-through for both 5.1, 7.1, and 9.1. Now I'll show you just how simple it is to connect the UHD-401 to your own gear. And for this demonstration, I have 4 separate HDMI input sources, a Roku streaming player, an Android-based media player, a home PC, and a laptop. And I'll connect all 4 up to the HDMI switch and show you how you can share those to a single monitor. And we'll start with the Roku player. I'll connect that up to HDMI input source 1, standard HDMI connection, the media player to source 2, the home PC to source 3, and finally the laptop to source 4. Now you'll notice all the cables come out the back, which makes it really easy for cable management. Now I'll connect up the monitor to the side. Now I haven't applied power yet, and that's because when you first power up the unit, it's going to check your monitor to see what resolutions it can comfortably display, and then it'll also check your input sources as you step through them and make whatever adjustment is needed to give you the best possible picture out of the unit. So let me power it up, and we'll see where we start. So right now it's coming up on input source 1, which should be the Roku. Takes a second to assess that media source, then it'll display it on the monitor. Let me switch to 2. That'll be the media player. Again, it takes a second or 2 to adjust because they're at different resolutions. There you goes the media player. Now we'll go to 3, which is the home PC. And again, a different resolution than the Roku player. There's your home PC. And finally the laptop. Now, if you're close enough to the unit, it's easy to use that front switch, but if you're doing this in your media center, maybe it's on a table far away from you, you have the remote you can use as well. So let me switch to input source 2, and you can see that it changed. And again, this works really well across the room, so it should come up right now on the media player. There you go. So it's really just that simple, and again, it's a very easy unit to use. It's got a wide range of different video and audio support that it provides, and it has a 4K ultra high definition resolution, which is the latest and greatest technology. So it's going to work well with pretty much anything you want to plug into it. That's all I had for today, so hopefully you found this information helpful. If you have any questions about anything I've covered in this clip, please drop them in the comments below, and I promise to get back to you as quickly as I can with the answers. I love this product. I've been using it for a couple of weeks. I was on the hunt for quite a while to find the right switch to use on my desk and also use another one in my media center, because it seems like every day some new technology comes out that I want to broadcast through my TV, and there aren't enough HDMI connections on most TVs out there, so you need a switch like this. I'm a lazy guy. I don't want to get up and walk over and push the button every time, so I love that it's got a remote control. I also love that it'll support up to a 4K ultra high definition resolution, which means anything I buy in the future, a new monitor or a new input device, it'll support that. that. The last thing I love about this product, which again is unique in the space, is this audio extraction on the side, because we have a really nice media center that's set up with a really nice audio system. It's a 7.1 surround sound, and the fact that I can extract audio from that HDMI input and not have to listen through it on the speakers on the TV is a really good thing. So I like it an awful lot. If you're looking for one of these, they've got a link down below where you can go to their website and you can find it. If you use that link, we get a little bit of a commission on that, so you'd be supporting the channel. The last thing I'll say is we really appreciate the support you guys have shown us. I know that most of the clips I do on the channel are around drones and drone technology, but I'm trying to expand what we cover because I play with a lot of different technology, and I often think to myself, if I'm using a product and I find value in it, I probably should talk about it on the channel. So if you guys happen to be in the market, at least I can give you a little insight on what the product can do. So I'll continue to expand the channel and kind of work these kind of things in here and there. But trust me, I'll have a lot more drone clips. But thank you so much for the subscription count. It's been going up every week. We really are inspired by that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please hit that subscribe button down there and turn the bell on, because we're going to be posting a lot of new clips and you're not going to want to miss any of them. But either way, we really appreciate you guys watching today. So hopefully you found this helpful. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, stay nerdy.